Your kids could get free or low-cost health coverage from Medicaid or CHIP. Even if you've applied before, they may be eligible now. Kids up to age 19 are covered for checkups, vaccines, dentist visits, hospital care, and more. And if they already have Medicaid or CHIP, remember to renew every year. Visit insurekidsnow.gov or call 877-KIDS-NOW. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Bugs crashing your pack's party? Whether they've got paws or sneakers, your pack deserves a home that's protected from pests. That's where Wondercide comes in. Plant-powered protection made with steam-distilled natural essential oils that actually work. It kills and repels fleas, ticks, mosquitoes, and ants without questionable ingredients or overpowering smells. Safe to use around kids and pets when used as directed. Lab-proven to work fast. And proudly made in the USA. We offer sprays for pets, people, homes, and yards. Plus, spot-on treatments, collars, and even shampoos. Whatever your pack needs, we've got it covered. Founded by a pet parent looking for a better way to protect her dog Luna, Wondercide's now protected over 21 million lives and counting. You might have even seen us on Shark Tank. Go to Wondercide.com and use code WONDER20 for 20% off your first order. That's WONDER20 at Wondercide.com. Wondercide. Protect your pack with plant-powered Wondercide today.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Kulturecast. I'm Chris Stachiw and I'm joined by my two friends. We're actually on Zoom together. It's super weird, especially for Father Malone at the moment. As always, from Scary Stories We Tell, Jess Byard.
Hello.
And from Dark Destinations and Dreams for Sale and Chronicles from the Crypt and from Zach Bagans' Haunted Museum, at one point, not anymore, Father Malone.
Hey, what's going on?
Man of the cloth, Father Malone.
You the man.
Yeah, as Richard claims, you're a man of the cloth and we're just going to go with it.
I am.
It's true. And Hal Holbrook's dead, so now you are Father Malone.
I've inherited the mantle.
Father Malone is dead. Long live Father Malone. So, on this episode of the Kulturecast, we're going to be talking about a movie called Do the Right Thing. If you've never seen it, you should probably watch it before the three of us talk about it.
Ooh-wee. It's going to be a scorcher today.
Universal Pictures presents a new film from Spike Lee.
Good morning, Miss Mother Sister.
Now, Mookie, don't work too hard today. The man says it's gonna be hot as the devil.
I've been here 25 years. South's famous pizzeria is here to stay.
Trust me.
Mookie, the last time I trusted you, we ended up with a son.
I know you can't stand it. You can't stand it.
Hey, Sal, how we gonna brothers on the wall here?
You want brothers on the wall?
Love.
Get your own place. You can do what you want to do.
89, the number. Another summer.
What I tell you about that noise? What I tell you about them pictures?
Give us what we want.
You talk to him, brother, talk to him.
You the man.
No, you the man.
No, you the man.
No, you the man. The first time you turn your back, boom. Right here, man, in the back.
Y'all take a chill. You like to sign a petition to boycott Sal's famous pizzeria?
Hear me, what you ought to do is boycott that no-good barber that messed up your head.
And that's the double truth.
Fight the power. Fight the power.
You know, deep down inside, I think you wish you were black.
Who told you to step on my sneakers? Who told you to walk on my side of the block? Who told you to be in my neighborhood?
I own this brownstone.
Who told you to buy a brownstone on my block, in my neighborhood, on my side of the street?
I can't even hear myself think.
From Spike Lee, director of School Days and She's Gotta Have It.
Good people, please. If we don't stop this, and stop it now, we're going to do something we're going to regret for the rest of our lives. Doctor?
Come on, what?
Always do the right thing.
That's it?
That's it.
I got it. I'm gone.
It is going to be a difficult discussion in some respects because a lot of the things that happen in this movie are real. I mean, ostensibly based on real events, and now we've seen things more recently, as in, it seems like every fucking week at this point, that we're gonna... I mean, yeah, it's, you know, what's really sad about the movie is at the end of the movie, they're, like, naming all these people. And I'm just thinking, like, yeah, let's name some more. Because it would take, like, another 20 fucking minutes. That's beside the point. But yes, we're talking about Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing. So the film is directed, produced, written by, and starring Spike Lee, along with Danny Aiello, who I think we saw in a Dreams for Sale episode at one point. Does that sound right?
Really?
Yeah, he was in one of them. I remember, like, wasn't he in the one where the guy, wasn't it the Bogosian episode? Didn't that also have Danny Aiello in it?
No.
Well.
Yes!
Aha! See,
yes.
See, I knew it.
Been a while.
Yeah,
a lot of shows, man.
It also has Ossie Davis, who plays JFK in Bubba Hotep, which is fun.
And directed Compton Comes to Harlem.
But there are a lot of people in this movie. We'll talk about them when we talk about them. But before we go there, I had never seen this film. Obviously, that's why we're talking about it. But Jess, starting with you, was this your first time watching it? If it wasn't, when was, and what did you think this time?
It was my first time watching this. This was one, much like you, Chris, this is one of those very, very well-known, very talked about movies that just kind of fell through the cracks for me. Knowing so much about film from that era, obviously I'm familiar with it. I'm Spike Lee. This is probably one of his most well-known, if not most well-known movies. The movie that kind of made him, propelled him to where he's at now.
Black Klansman Spike Lee, as we say it.
Yeah, exactly. Which I did see and I did like. But yeah, this was my first time checking this movie out.
So what did you think?
I mean, I liked it. I hesitate to say that because of how heavy of the subject matter it is,
You liked it in as much as you could like it.
Yes, I liked it. I can't say that I was entertained.
And I can't say I would watch it again. What about you, Father Malone? When was the first time you saw this? Because I know this wasn't the first time.
Opening day in 1989, which I'll always know that this movie came out in 1989 thanks to Public Enemy's first line of Fight the Power, 1989. I saw this in Boston with a predominantly black audience. I had been a Spike Lee fan. I had already seen She's Gotta Have It. I love School Days. Was very excited for it, and I loved it when I first saw it. This is a movie that friends and I have quoted for 30 odd years now, and honestly, I have not seen it in about 20 years. So I was happy to rewatch it, and I think it's it's a fucking masterpiece as far as I'm concerned. It's it's probably his best known movie because it is his best movie. It's rare rare for a movie where all the components kind of gel together in this way.
The dialogue in this film sings. It jumps out of the screen at you.
I mean, it's very much, as I watched this, it's a poetry piece come to visual life. Right. Like this, everything that's happening on screen, the rhythm, the movement of everybody, what they're saying, the dialogue, how each group of people has their own sort of like thing that they're focused on, that they're concerned about in their life. It all just kind of felt obviously like, this kind of moving art piece, this art piece to a screen.
What about you, Chris?
I never seen it before. I mean, it's, I'm similar to Jess. I liked it as much as I could like it, but the scene towards the end of the film is brutal. I don't know any other word to put it. I mean, it is as close as any one of us could be to being in that scenario without being in that scenario. That's how effective Spike Lee and Ernest Dickerson's Spike Lee's direction and Ernest Dickerson's camera work. That's how effective it is. I hope to never be in that situation, as I'm sure none of us do, as I'm sure all of us hope to never be in that situation. But this, I feel like, is as close as we can get in a film sense. Obviously, in a film sense, you have investment in characters, stuff like that. I mean, you can watch body cam footage from police officers, thankfully, now. But, that scene aside, like Jess said, it is so lyrical in its script and the delivery of the lines and the actors. I mean, everything. It's one of these few films where I watch it, I'm like, I'm not sure I would change a damn thing about it. And Spike Lee changed the ending too. And he changed it to less positive, which similar to last week's episode in Chinatown, another positive ending becoming negative, working for the overall feel of the film. I'm not sure this film would have earned a happy ending. Frankly, I think the point of this film is similar to Chinatown. It is what it is. It happens here all the time. What are we supposed to do about it?
The happy ending you're talking about is that initially Sal and Mookie were supposed to embrace and sort of put aside their differences, which does seem false. But, having rewatched it last night, it does seem to me at the end of their little conversation, they've not necessarily put aside any racial divide or the fact of what just happened, but they do seem to be good with each other. Like they go from very angry to sort of rationally talking. And I don't have any doubt that if Sal had reopened his pizzeria right there, he would not have had a problem hiring Mookie again.
Yeah. And it's at the end of the film where they're going back and forth. I mean, we've all had that fight with our friends where it's like back and forth. And you're just like, oh, fuck it. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because nobody won in this movie. Everybody lost. I mean,
well, I mean, that's sort of the interesting point that they make, over and over again, where there's racial and, cultural tensions in every group, just in this one neighborhood on this one street,
Your kids could get free or low-cost health coverage from Medicaid or CHIP. Even if you've applied before, they may be eligible now. Kids up to age 19 are covered for checkups, vaccines, dentist visits, hospital care, and more. And if they already have Medicaid or CHIP, remember to renew every year. Visit insurekidsnow.gov or call 877-KIDS-NOW. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Bugs crashing your pack's party? Whether they've got paws or sneakers, your pack deserves a home that's protected from pests. That's where Wondercide comes in. Plant-powered protection made with steam-distilled natural essential oils that actually work. It kills and repels fleas, ticks, mosquitoes, and ants without questionable ingredients or overpowering smells. Safe to use around kids and pets when used as directed, lab-proven to work fast, and proudly made in the USA. We offer sprays for pets, people, homes, and yards. Plus, spot-on treatments, collars, and even shampoos. Whatever your pack needs, we've got it covered. Founded by a pet parent looking for a better way to protect her dog Luna, Wondercide's now protected over 21 million lives and counting. You might have even seen us on Shark Tank. Go to Wondercide.com and use code WONDER20 for 20% off your first order. That's WONDER20 at Wondercide.com. Wondercide. Protect your pack with plant-powered Wondercide today.
Everybody has a problem with someone else, but at the end, when they're sort of descended upon by what's supposed to be a protective force, they all kind of end up in this is what it is, and kind of this camaraderie of like, well, we all live in this neighborhood together and we're all treated the same by the people that are supposed to be protecting us, or anybody else that doesn't live in this neighborhood. So it's sort of, they almost kind of put aside their differences, but not in such like a corny way as it would have been like if they actually, embraced and had a nice little hug it out session.
I can't imagine writing the script for this film and writing that scene at the end and being like, yeah, this makes sense.
And then they hugged.
Like, boy, what? Like, if anything, what has the director and the screenwriter learned? Because the audience would come to that. Like, if it had been that, it would have felt false and it would have felt hollow and it would have felt like, well, we need to wrap this up and have something to say. It's like, there's nothing to say.
I'll go one better. In the original script, once the riot has sort of begun and Sal's is on fire, and they've chosen not to destroy the Korean grocery across the street. At that point, the rain began to fall, thus ending the day of heat, right? So, as I said, I was a huge Spike Lee fan. So at the time, I read the script, sort of initial draft and the final shooting draft, and he put out a book. I think it's Uplift the Race, about the making of that film, which he kept a diary the entire time. And so you can see he's just like there's a passage basically where he knows how corny it is that it would start raining, right? And then like a couple of passages later, a couple of days later, he says, no, it's the police with the fire hoses. They show up. That's the release. But it's also, and this is brilliant, it's a callback to Alabama during the civil rights things where they were turning fire hoses on African Americans who were protesting. So, I like that this script in particular, it's really even-handed, I thought. Like even the scumbag characters in this movie get a moment where they seem human. And he does a really interesting thing sort of right from the get-go about showing how multiracial somewhere like Bed-Stuy actually was. Like, it would have been easy to put this movie with an entire cast of black characters and then 3 white characters who just happen to be, owning a business there. And I think the way he did it is brilliant, which is the credit sequence in this movie. At the time, I thought it was good, like in '89, and I look at it now and it's fucking audacious. The Rosie Perez dancing to Fight the Power with a Bed-Stuy background. It is so, this is a filmmaker who he makes lots of missteps. The one thing I love about Spike Lee is that he wants to put everything in a movie that he can, like, and it for the most part hurts his films, but in this case, it all comes together. And as a filmmaker, like he uses sort of every camera trick and every camera technique possible.
A lot of Dutch angles in this.
a lot of Dutch, a lot of like sort of like pointing up at the sky, turning everyone into like monoliths, and a lot of long shots in the first act when everyone's sort of being civil to each other, and then the camera gets tighter and tighter, and everyone gets sweatier and sweatier as it goes on. I think this was him obviously operating at the top of his game. Like on instinct almost. Like if he had considered it more, it would have been a lesser film.
Mm-hmm. And I think it also really works because you do have a street filled with disparate characters. So it doesn't feel like you're shoehorning in the kind of older African-American character, the kind of sage of wisdom character, right, and then kind of the simple character, like the smiley character, and then you have the Radio Raheem character. It doesn't feel disparate because all the characters are disparate in their own kind of existences, and they all have to
we're in this slice of life, setup that, unfortunately, the slice of life that we're viewing is one that's really, really forgotten and really just not at all paid attention to by society outside of it, other than in its negative connotations and its negative perceptions that everyone else is having of this one place. So even when they have their disagreements within, they're still kind of united in this otherism, right? So we're moving along through this neighborhood that is a slice of life, and we're getting all these different characters. We're seeing all these different musings on what's happening right on their street. And I always enjoy a slice of life sort of story where we're just spending time with people and learning about who they are and, what they have to deal with on a day-to-day basis.
And that is almost the entire movie, too. Never having seen this before, I thought that the climax of this movie happened much earlier. What about you, Jess? Did you think that the whole kind of the massive scene that this movie is known for, did you think it was going to happen earlier? I didn't think it was going to happen in the last 10 minutes.
Well, honestly, I didn't really even know what specifically the climax was. I mean, I figured,
sure,
as we're building, it's a hot day. Its pressure is literally building throughout this neighborhood, throughout this particular street all day long, between the heat, between relationship problems, between coworker and, racial problems, things like that. It's just building and building and building. So I do feel like that scene is well placed, that it is that kind of, because throughout this movie, it's tense but it's not so tense that you're absolutely 100% waiting for something to happen, that you're just like, all right, come on, happen. You get to spend time with these characters. And like, you know, there are some kind of like, you know, fun parts, amusing parts. There are, you know, you enjoy getting to know these characters, even the sort of scumbag characters like John Turturro's character. Like, you get to know these people, you know, they're not great, but they are just real people, and you get to spend time with them, and you get to see how each little thing in their life builds and builds and builds to this ending pressure cooker that is quite literally about to explode.
Yeah.
And it's just one instance, you know, a representation of something that's happening across, you know, the country, across the world, across humanity at large. This is just one tiny little example of Americana that it affects everywhere.
Yeah, the movie always seemed like well, to me, it's a perfect snapshot of that time and place. Like the fashion, the sort of things people are saying, the way everything looked. It's so specific to 1989 at that moment. Even the conversations they're having are about sort of you know, events that were going on at the time. And yet, and what's funny is at the time, people kind of pigeonholed it that way, that it was a situation that happens in neighborhoods like this, not realizing how prescient a film it actually is, that it's a metaphor for this whole country. And no matter what the racial makeup of those characters in that particular place. And we're certainly seeing it writ large nowadays.
Coming to a town near you, who knows at this point? Like, I mean, it happened as close as Omaha to me, like last year. I mean, it wasn't a cop, but it was a similar situation. And it was.
It happened in Cleveland.
Yeah, and it happens everywhere. Like, you know, it's a fucking, and it happens in Vegas. I mean, of course it does, all the fucking time. Like, it's for me, this film should be required viewing for anyone who goes to school in this country. Like, when you turn 18...
Not just for film students.
No, when you, like, in your senior year of high school, or possibly earlier, you should I mean, you can cut the whole Rosie Perez, Spike Lee sex scene out because it made her uncomfortable. It's completely unnecessary. That's fine. But everything else that happens in this movie is so important. And, like, honestly, the fact that more people don't talk about this movie and more people don't need... Like, the more people that need to watch this movie aren't watching this movie... speaks to the loving ignorance that so many people choose to and love to participate in. It's a fucking shame, because this movie is entertaining to a point, but I mean, when I was watching it with my wife, she did not know what was going to happen at the end of this film, and her and I were almost like in tears. I mean, it's fucking atrocious, and it's brutal.
The movie's 3/4 entertaining, I think.
Yeah,
and then the quarter that is not entertaining is not a detriment. It is a horrible gut punch.
Yeah.
But you know, the entertaining parts in this film are very entertaining.
Yeah.
Like this is a very smartly written script, and I like a lot of these characters. Like, I want to hang out with a lot of these characters.
Yeah.
Even some of them.
Your kids could get free or low-cost health coverage from Medicaid or CHIP. Even if you've applied before, they may be eligible now. Kids up to age 19 are covered for checkups, vaccines, dentist visits, hospital care, and more. And if they already have Medicaid or CHIP, remember to renew every year. Visit insurekidsnow.gov or call 877-KIDS-NOW. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Bugs crashing your pack's party? Whether they've got paws or sneakers, your pack deserves a home that's protected from pests. That's where Wondersight comes in. Plant-powered protection made with steam-distilled natural essential oils that actually work. It kills and repels fleas, ticks, mosquitoes, and ants without questionable ingredients or overpowering smells. Safe to use around kids and pets when used as directed. Lab-proven to work fast. And proudly made in the USA. We offer sprays for pets, people, homes, and yards. Plus, spot-on treatments, collars, and even shampoos. Whatever your pack needs, we've got it covered. Founded by a pet parent looking for a better way to protect her dog Luna, Wondersight's now protected over 21 million lives and counting. You might have even seen us on Shark Tank. Go to Wonderside.com and use code WONDER20 for 20% off your first order. That's WONDER20 at Wonderside.com. Wonderside. Protect your pack with plant-powered Wonderside today.
More incendiary ones. Bugging Out. Giancarlo Esposito is so fucking funny and charming and like disarming, and he has this slice of revolutionary in him. But Radio Raheem as well. Well, like what a great character! This character who constantly wanders, playing the one song, and is given respect by everyone, and thus the natural sort of match to the flame finally at the end. So the movie is entertaining as like Taxi Driver is entertaining. Like,
sure.
I'm gonna watch it again, like no question about it. I'm not gonna pop it in if I'm like, just want to forget about the world for a little while. But
it'll remind you of the world real quick.
Yeah, but it's good to know this movie's out there, man. Like, could I just for 1 second talk about that sex scene, right?
Sure. Yeah, I'm surprised you're actually taking issue with the sex scene. Or you're bringing it up. It's interesting. I want to hear this.
Well, I'm bringing it up for a couple of reasons, and that is, like Rosie Perez, who sort of said she was uncomfortable doing it. This was her first thing. She was not an actress.
Sure.
And saying to somebody that you're going to have them naked in a scene theoretically seems okay, and then you're on the set and there's a fucking camera and a bunch of people and everything. Right. So I get her perspective, but having read Spike Lee's diaries, like while he was writing it, like he wanted that piece to be as integral as all the other pieces in the movie. These two characters sort of coming together, and in he like instead of like igniting her, like cooling her down. And I think his original sort of shot list went out the window once he realized how she was uncomfortable with it. So suddenly it's about her knees and her ankles. You know what I mean? They still get the gratuitous tit shot. It seems gratuitous now because it's just plugged in there, whereas originally it was supposed to be more organic. The other thing is like
quite gratuitous.
Yeah. But yeah, in the current
quite gratuitous.
But here's the thing: the entire scene is unnecessary until it gets to the shot of his lips in the foreground and hers in the background, like sort of silhouetted with light, and the conversation they have there. That to me is sexier than anything else he was attempting. So, I do think he had the right intentions with filming the scene, but like once he realized it was foiled, should have figured, oh, this shot is enough there.
So you're essentially contending it is almost a useless scene, partway useless.
I mean, once the ice trays come out, until the close up of them sort of talking when he's telling her he's going, that's unnecessary. It's almost a perfect film.
Yeah, but again, like. My whole thing with this movie is this movie's like a force for good. It feels like how could you not watch this movie and become more empathetic towards your common man? Like I don't see how you could watch this movie and not interpret it like, yeah, we're all on a different page, but we're all in the same book, my dude. Like
criticism at the time was super heavy against him.
Oh my God.
Saying that like this was like a call to arms and he was advocating violence.
Remember when, what was the last movie you guys remember that was considered a call to arms and people were worried about it? Please, let's compare it to that and let's talk about that. Go for it, Father Malone. You know what it is. Come on.
I actually don't.
You both saw it, I'm pretty sure. It came out. Okay. Let me walk it back. The guy won an Oscar for it, and I don't think anyone in this podcast would agree he deserved it. He won it last year, 2020. The Joker. Remember how everyone was like, this is a call to arms?
Yeah. That movie actually felt like a call to arms.
It kind of did.
The criticism that was leveled against this movie is apt in this case. Whereas the criticism at the time felt very... As Spike Lee has said it himself, very racist.
Oh, it is completely racist. Because the thing with Joker was they were just saying like, people might do it, but they weren't saying it's a bunch of incel white boys that might do it. Because if you say that now, it's racist.
Right.
So you just say everybody's pissed. It's like, okay. Like everybody should be pissed.
Everybody, but only show those white boys.
Yeah. But everybody should be pissed. Like, why is it an African American thing that Do the Right Thing would make you mad?
Because black movies. They incite black people.
Who
can't help themselves. But that's not a racist comment.
Right. No, totally not.
Get the fuck out of here.
If you make that comment, it is mind-boggling to me how you could not think that's racist.
Yeah.
And yeah, like reading those reviews, it just fucking blew my mind. I was like, what are you're saying, like a call to arms? Like, yeah, it should be a call to arms for all of us.
And he went so far as to put a quote from Malcolm X and Martin Luther King at the end. Mm-hmm. Like, you could not, other than him showing up on screen and going, make your own choice. Like, I don't know how more even-handed he could have been with the treatment of this without resorting to sort of melodrama or, you know, treacly kind, like the ending as originally done. It wouldn't have even undercut everything we had seen before, but like people were mad that he didn't take a firm stance one way or the other and spell it out for you, as if art is meant to do that at all.
And to be fair, in this situation, is a catch-all answer always the best answer? No. Not with something as kind of as touchy and as important a subject as, I guess now, what the fuck do we call this now? Life versus property? I mean, is that this fucking discussion here? Is your store is more important than human life? Like,
Spike Lee has always said, like, not one black person has come up and asked me if Mookie did the right thing.
Yeah,
because I throw in the trash can.
Yeah, and like, it is the right thing. It was 100% the right thing, because the next scene in this movie, if he doesn't throw the trash can, is that guy's being beaten to death.
Who, Sal?
Danny Aiello, 100%. Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, and Spike Lee has said, like, my intention there was Mookie was so filled with rage that his friend Radio Raheem just died. That was the trigger that made him throw the trash can in. But as all good art is, it's interpretable. And if he hadn't done that, you're absolutely right. Sal would be dead right now. So
they all three would be probably.
Yeah.
Did he do the right thing though?
Yes.
Is it? Yeah. Yes.
Absolutely.
I would say so.
Yeah. Like, why is it even a question? How can you how can you watch this movie and not think that? Like, how unsophisticated do you have to be to not find that to be an easy to find answer? I'm not trying to be a dickhead. It's like, it's not even hard to fucking look at. I've said this before and I'll say it again. It costs nothing to be a good human being, but it feels like it costs more than everything else for human beings to have to put up with you being an asshole. We pay the price for you being an asshole. It costs nothing.
Look at the last year.
Yeah, look at the last fucking year. We've all aged 10 years in the last year because we've been having to listen to every motherfucking dickhead on the planet go, well, 1% is 1% and 1% is fine. And it's like, oh, except when the vaccine comes out, it has a 1% death rate for using the vaccine, and now it's a problem. Fuck you. What are you, psychotic? Are you going in circles? Do you even understand your own argument? No. It's exhausting. I'm exhausted, guys.
Don't let rationality get in the way of their, petty and stupid grudges against everyone.
All the time.
Yeah.
Zero reason.
and it's the old joke, like, you put 5 people in a room, they won't elect a president, but they'll figure out which one to hate.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Do you know what the crazy thing to me about this movie is? This movie was nominated for Best Supporting Actor in Screenplay. What?
I mean, come on. You know what won that year? Best Picture?
Oh, God, please hurt me more.
Driving Miss Daisy.
Oh.
Driving.
It's like the punchline you didn't know is coming.
Sugary movie on racism.
That's weird. Driving Miss Daisy won a couple of years ago, didn't it?
Well, I mean, the Academy is much more comfortable with Morgan
with a magical Negro teaching an old white woman the power of love. Yeah.
Yeah, the Green Book or whatever.
I would say
exactly.
Tim Burton's Batman deserved Best Picture over my Driving Miss Daisy. I talk about a movie I will never watch again.
And Driving Miss Daisy also won for Best Actress, too.
Oh, didn't it? It was so good. It was so good.
I've never seen it because I've don't hate myself. It's a butt of too many jokes for me to watch at this point, right?
Dan Aykroyd's good in it.
Yeah.
Oh, Dan Aykroyd's in it.
Yeah. He's the one who hires Morgan Freeman.
I was like, is that why you watched it?
Yeah. Actually, yeah.
I mean, look, this to me is yet another movie in a long line of movies that adds to that argument of, do film critics and folks who talk about movies objectively, do they ultimately know what they're talking about?
No.
No, not at all.
And the ones who did get it at the time,
who worked for things like New York Times and shit.
Yeah,
like
the ones who got it at the time, it feels like maybe they're even overpraising in a way. You know what I mean? Like they,
right,
just so they can seem like they're with it. Like, you know,
this was cool white person. That
yeah. So
do the right thing and gets it, man.
But that's all criticism ever.
Woke.
Yeah.
Before woke.
How can you really evaluate something? I mean, you know, you can draw a conclusion.
Bugs crashing your pack's party? Whether they've got paws or sneakers, your pack deserves a home that's protected from pests. That's where Wondercide comes in. Plant-powered protection made with steam-distilled natural essential oils that actually work. It kills and repels fleas, ticks, mosquitoes, and ants without questionable ingredients or overpowering smells. Safe to use around kids and pets when used as directed. Lab-proven to work fast. And proudly made in the USA. We offer sprays for pets, people, homes, and yards. Plus, spot-on treatments, collars, and even shampoos. Whatever your pack needs, we've got it covered. Founded by a pet parent looking for a better way to protect her dog Luna, Wondercide's now protected over 21 million lives and counting. You might have even seen us on Shark Tank. Go to Wondercide.com and use code WONDER20 for 20% off your first order. That's WONDER20 at Wondercide.com. Wondercide. Protect your pack with plant-powered Wondercide today.
Hello, this is Aaron West. I am the author of the A24 New Wave. In this book, I look at A24's output and I make the argument that we are in a new wave movement right now. A24 plays a major role. This book has a supplemental podcast where each episode is a brief conversation about an A24 related topic, whether an actor, director, or even a genre. As I continue research for the book and conduct interviews, I expect to record podcast episodes with people involved with the company. You can find the podcast at cinejourneys.com or wherever you find podcasts, and we are proud to be members of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Or two about a movie, but a film like this, like there's a lot to unpack.
Yeah.
So,
right.
This idea that these critics, and you know, as a projectionist, I used to run critic screenings all the time in Los Angeles. Like all the major film critics would show up, and it's like 10 o'clock in the morning. Like they've just rolled out of bed, and then like you throw something like this at somebody. Like, how are you supposed to, the
problem is the film critics we roll out of bed. The film critics spring out of bed gainfully because they're employed writing their terrible opinions about movies, and they get to see the movies for free. They love their job.
Right, but
and they're safe in their jobs, too.
I've gotten movies for free that I wrote bad reviews for because, hey...
Fuck the man.
but like this, I do think that if this movie came out today, I think that it would be a prime example of a movie that would get jumped all over for being like, don't put your politics in movies. Movies need to stay in their lane.
Filmmakers shouldn't have a message.
Yeah, but this was made in 1989, and it's the same, like literally the exact same thing that happens to Radio Raheem happened to George Floyd. Basically the same exact thing. Radio Raheem gets killed with a club against his throat, and George Floyd was, obviously, we've all seen it 100 million times, he was kneeled on. And it's the same thing, and it was made 30 plus years ago.
Yeah. It's horrifying when a movie like this is predicting the future by talking about how bad the past was.
Right.
Well, what's funny is I don't think it even predicted the future. It was like, here's what's going on. And then it continued and continued and continued.
Yeah.
And now
it's just unfortunately something that didn't change.
Yeah. And well, I mean, now at least we have much more access sort of individually now that we're all connected by the internet and such. So now people are maybe recognizing that it's happening and having to face it, So, yeah, I mean, prescient, but not so much. Like this is America.
To your point, we've talked, Jess, you brought up George Floyd, obviously, and this is being recorded in kind of at the tail end of the George Floyd trial. I have watched none of it because I can't bring myself to beat myself up more every day than I already do. But like you said, Father Malone, it just keeps happening. And Like,
I mean, it's happened like 3 times like this month.
This year. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
It's just something that is. And Chris, you say that you would like this to be required viewing, and sure, so would I. But I think that there would still be plenty of people who would just blank wall it, just like, I don't know, that doesn't happen. This is a movie.
And they would probably sound very similar to that.
Yeah.
I mean, look, again, at the end of the day, it's.
I mean, shit. There's people who get the wrong message from They Live.
It's true.
Which seems impossible, but
but yet here we are.
Right.
It's like the conservatives screaming about keep your politics out of my music at Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you fuckers out of your mind, or are you trying to be? Is this The Onion made real life, or are you just that stupid?
We're all living in The Onion these days.
The darkest timeline, as they would say.
Let me just address something about this movie. There are some positives to this film. One of which was, and I know this was a conscious choice on Spike Lee's part, in the early 90s, it seemed like everyone was wearing an African medallion, little leather loop. You see it a lot in the characters in this movie. And that was Spike Lee looking at the landscape of sort of popular entertainers, where they were all wearing like big rope gold chains. And he was like, that's so fucked up that we're sort of chasing this illusion of wealth. Let me see if I can flip it. And he fucking did. So it's one of the things that, like, when I go back and I watch the movie, I think like, wow, for a time there, this movie made an effect like right away. So it's just one more thing that I like about this movie. And let me go further. Not about the same thing, but Public Enemy is my favorite sort of hip hop band of all time. And the song that they wrote for this movie could not have been more perfect. Fight the Power is probably their most popular song, but there's a reason, because like the movie itself, I think it's a fucking masterpiece. As far as an entertaining song that is also a call to arms, it's pretty fucking rare that you can do it. And pretty rare to ask somebody to make a song for your film and sum up the film as well as they did.
Yep.
Because it's about fighting the power, man. Whatever power it is, fight it.
Elvis was a hero to most.
Elvis never did no drugs. I don't know if you know that. Elvis never did no drugs.
Are we doing an Elvis month here soon?
We are doing an Elvis month here soon.
I bet we are.
Thanks to one old Father Malone talking some except no Elvis in brownface, which is the big stunner of the.
Sorry. Out of respect for Do the Right Thing.
Out of respect for all of us, man.
Out of respect for humanity.
We're
gonna skip brown faced Elvis.
I will say though, you've mentioned this a couple of times, Father Malone, like, and Jess, you mentioned it as well. The cast in this movie, right? I mean, I had this discussion last week on Chinatown. Directors in their movies sometimes does not work. Roman Polanski in Chinatown's okay. Quentin Tarantino, no. Stay away. You could just probably just don't do movies at all. But that's just me.
He's good in From Dusk Till Dawn. Can I just say that?
Yeah, sure. But like
that's a good. Because
he's playing a creep. Well,
because he's playing himself.
That's fine. It worked. It worked.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like these
Alfred
directors who
Hitchcock
stick themselves in movies, most of the time they suck, including Spike Lee. Except in this movie. I think he's fucking perfect in this movie.
Yeah.
He's like disinterested just enough.
Yes. Like what a great proxy for the audience. Mm-hmm. Spike Lee's just genuinely disinterested in anything but what he's got going on in front of him at that moment persona.
He's like, whatever. Like, whatever. Just, I'm here.
I just need to get paid. Let's just go.
Pay me my fucking money. But like, Spike Lee's great, and then Danny Aiello is great as well. And like you said, Father Malone, he should be the villain of the movie, but he's not.
Decent guy.
Yeah, but he's not. Nobody is really the villain. Well, except for the cops.
Wow.
But fuck the cops. What is it? What do the kids say?
But you know what? Even early on,
all bad cops or whatever. ABCAB. One cop, bad cop. Two cop, blue cop. I don't know. I don't fucking know. There's some like TikTok. What is it?
ACAB.
ACAB. A cab.
A cab. All
but
cops
our introduction.
All cops are bad. Okay, gotcha. All cops are bad.
bastards.
Oh, all cops are bastards.
Oh,
Yes,
is that what it is?
That's what it stands for.
That's a big assumption
that's
on their part.
kind of painting a huge brush.
Exactly.
But like,
I'm not endorsing it. I'm merely telling you
letting
what
us
it
know.
means.
The first scene with the cops in this movie is when they've opened up the fire hydrant and they end up spraying that one guy's Cadillac.
Frank Vincent, come on.
Yeah, okay.
Now go home and get your fucking shine box, Father Malone.
Absolutely. Who's great in it, and the scene is great. And as I said, like, I feel like the script was very even-handed and tried to do right by everyone. And like, that guy's like, hunt these kids down, and the cops are just like, you're not even supposed to be here. Like, just get out of here. Like,
why was he there?
I don't know. He's just
for
driving
for the plot.
Yeah, for the plot, maybe. Sure. But other people in New York are going to drive through that neighborhood, Sure. He made a wrong turn would probably be the real answer.
So, I mean, Bed-Stuy is that near Bensonhurst?
Not particularly.
Okay, because Bensonhurst is Bensonhurst
predominantly Italian.
Yeah, where all the Italians
or was. I mean, it's all
right.
gentrified at this point, right?
I would say so.
Right.
Yuppies, they'll burn it all down now.
Bed-Stuy has 3 Zagat restaurants now. Like, get the fuck out of here! Like,
right.
Holy shit! That, like, reading about Bedford or Bed-Stuy now in 2021, it's like, oh god, Attack of the Hipsters.
Yeah, the true villains.
We are the trash.
I as somebody who's in New York within the last like 3 years, it's all pretty gentrified.
Yeah.
But Brooklyn is so cool. And man, I did want a nice, good fucking slice of it. New York pizza while I watched this, man.
I don't blame you. I mean, I assume Sal's Pizza was good. Like,
I'm sure.
I actually thought it looked bad. It looked like, it had that movie quality where it's been sitting on the set for too long. Like, he keeps tossing it into the oven. When he takes it out, it's just like that oven is not on.
Mucho
that pizza
crispy.
is not cooked. And you know what? The extra cheese, you should just be adding that anyway. Don't charge them for that.
Don't be a fucking dick.
Takes the Parmesan cheese out of Buganout's hands. Come on.
I will say, though, and I don't know if this is intentional, again, up for interpretation. I do like that Spike Lee is kind of making a comment on what I consider now to be a very potent brand of folks on the internet who get angry at everything, and that's the Bugging Out character, where his sister's like, dude, use your anger for something useful, not getting fucking...
Hello and welcome to Tumbleweeds and TV Cowboys. My name is Hunter. In this podcast, I'll be joined by a different guest each week to discuss a classic Western movie or TV show. I've been a fan of classic Westerns for as long as I can remember, and in recent years, they've become very nostalgic for me. I love the aesthetic, the tropes, and I love seeing different filmmakers' takes on them. At their best, they're incredibly entertaining, rewatchable, and some of my all-time favorite movies are Westerns. We'll mostly focus on Western movies made in Hollywood, but we'll also be covering spaghetti Westerns, and one thing I'm very excited to get into are Western TV shows. I've got some amazing guests coming on the show, film professors, historians, and podcasters. And Tumbleweeds and TV Cowboys is part of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network, and many guests on the show will be from other shows on the network. Thanks for listening.
Pictures up on a wall, you moron. Like, use it for good. And like,
it's like you're making a big deal about the wrong thing.
Yeah, and like that message, like, that's why I think some people also need to watch this movie, because it's like you need to pick your battles, guys, because if you fight about everything, then nothing can be important. If everything makes you angry, then nothing is important. Then everything is the same level of anger. Get the fuck out of here. Come on.
If it's all the end of the world, none of it is the end.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep,
and it's like, look, the pictures of all the, they're all a bunch of eye ties. And it's just like, what's the fucking point?
Pizzeria.
Yeah, it's his fucking joint, dude. Come on. Like, and that's your point, Father Malone. Like, Danny Aiello's character, like, in 9 other movies, but not this one, he's not the villain. But in 9 other movies that are written by a less deft hand, he's the, he's the real problem.
We're examining like people in a very real level, and where they're all complex, conflicted, flawed people. Mookie's got 2 women going on this whole time. He doesn't see his son ever. He's just kind of, like you said, he's indifferent to anything unless it's happening right in front of his face. Does that make him a bad person? No, it doesn't. But he's not like this, hero that we're, rooting for this whole movie. Obviously we're rooting for, but he's not, going out there trying to make this big difference. He's just trying to live his life. And that's what everybody is trying to do in this movie. They're just trying to live their life and do what they want and not get shit on for it, at least as much as humanly possible. And, you know, we see it trickle down. It's trickle down, right? From like, you get shit on by this person, you're going to, you know, beat up on this person. They're going to beat up on this person. They're going to beat up on this person. It's just this domino effect of a literal boling pot.
Trickle
that's
down
just about to explode.
Jessonomics.
Yes.
Trickle down Jessonomics. Hey. She coined the term here first on this podcast. Trickle down Jessonomics. We've never heard that one before. To your point though, Jess, like the fact that these characters are being written like real people is the only reason this movie works.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, if we were following like real character, like archetype type, you know, it would not work. It would not have the same weight. It would not feel the same way at all.
No.
If you broke this movie into any of its components and focused on that, it would be a melodramatic nightmare.
Yeah.
It would be it would be unbearable. That's what I was talking about sort of at the top, where like for some reason all the interconnecting parts in this movie like separately are garbage, but put them all together and it's a work of art. And I know I keep sort of hammering like what a good filmmaker Spike Lee was. He continues to be, but not at this level. Like the Radio Raheem scene, like he sort of pops up occasionally in the first act, but we don't really get introduced to him as who the guy is. It's not until that love-hate scene, which I rewound it and watched it again because that's one take where the camera comes in on the two of them talking and then switches to this point of view shot. And like, once this has happened, the sort of point of view, I thought it was interesting that whenever anyone is really hurling racial epithets from then on, it becomes a POV shot in the movie, which is a great choice where it makes you the sort of recipient of the racism. So I don't know where I'm going with this other than like, you know, Spike Lee was a muscular filmmaker at one point in his life, man. And like he just knows what to do with that camera.
I mean, that putting you in that like first person POV is so smart. It's so fucking smart. It's again, it goes back to that scene, the Radio Raheem scene. It's like if you put someone in that person's point of view, it's impossible to look away. Like force someone to look at it. Don't ask them to look away. Don't tell them to look away. Force them to look at it. Because that's the only way. Like that's the thing. Like you mentioned, Jess, about the George Floyd thing. I haven't. With all these horrifying things that have happened in the last, since I've been alive, since you've been alive, Father Malone, I don't remember as many people seeing it.
No.
As I did with this, with what happened with George Floyd. And yeah, I know I'm discounting maybe Rodney King a little bit.
Well, but I mean, that's with the advent of social media and camera phones, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like if we had all had iPhone, if everybody had iPhones when the Rodney King riots were happening, that would have been seen. If you know, Twitter and Facebook had existed, that's just, you know, for better or for worse on the social media front, it at least does provide a constant outlet of no, this is what's going on. You know, it's kind of calls back to when Vietnam was happening and they actually showed, you know, they would send journalists in and, you know, military people that it was their job to take video, you know, take the cameras out because we have this technology now. And then they would show some of it like on the news and stuff like that. They stopped doing that because obviously it scares people and they don't want to not have they don't want people to be anti-war.
It's weird how people don't want to go to war all of a sudden when they see the jungles burning, huh?
Right. And when like people's limbs are being blown off.
Yeah.
But, you know, this, I think from like, you know, until now, we just didn't have the technology that had the access to make us see it all the time. And yes,
that's a good
there
point.
is something to be said too, you know, about whether or not it is really a good thing to be completely inundated in it, but it needs to be seen, you know, like, and we as people have the ability to control what we intake, but it's really hard to avoid what's happening unless you are actively trying to not see it because you don't want to.
I mean, you would think if people keep getting water dumped on them in a pool and the pool keeps rising around them, they would want to get out eventually. and drained the pool of all of the shit, not drain the snot, no draining of the swamp here, but draining the pool of the water that is the bile of the racism of this country. You think someone would want to do something at some point, but yet here we are.
Well, let me say about the fact that we're so inundated with it, like it's a heavy burden that every time we open an application, we're going to be informed of the latest racial atrocity in this country.
Or school shooting or anything else.
But, it's kind of a double-edged sword in that.
Well, if it bleeds, it leads.
Yeah. Well, and that's always been the case. But you can kind of get inured to it. Or it can be sort of enough is enough. And I think we might be approaching the enough is enough as far as the racism in this country, because, I was in Los Angeles in 92 during the Rodney King trial, and it was all anyone could talk about, but it was all anyone could talk about after the 11 a.m. news and the 6 p.m. news and the 11 p.m. news. So it was kind of compartmentalized. I mean, it was writ large that this happened and is a problem here in the country, but it was containable, I think, in people's minds. And even the riots, look, there's plenty of footage of the riots. I was there. I saw a lot of it. And I think that the general consensus after it happened was, well, things are going to have to change now. But for most people, it was, a couple of days of a news feed and then back to my life in whatever part of the country you're in. And now I don't have to deal with it. So I kind of think that as wearying as it is to be inundated with the racial tensions going on in this country, it's probably beneficial.
Yeah. I mean, smothering that news and not allowing it to exist is a bigger problem.
Just like making you look through the character's eyes who's being discriminated against in this film, it's kind of good that everyone is being fed a steady diet of what's wrong with us.
I mean, that's one of the beauties of film, right? Is that you can really, with, perspective, camera tricks, atmosphere, anything, you can really force an audience to be in that moment that you want them to be in. Like there are, I can think of several movies that that hook you and you have to stay there because there's literally nothing else going on. Like, this is what's happening. I think that's kind of, maybe it speaks very much to how social media works now, where it's right there and it's the worst of the worst because we got to get these, shock value headlines with these, crazy pictures to go along with them because we know that's what gets clicks. On top of it's what's actually happening too.
Yeah. And, when most people try to make a polemic kind of film where I just want to get a point of view across, those movies fall immediately to the wayside. Like, it speaks to the success of this movie that it made enough people uncomfortable at the time that they railed against it. And, you never underestimate the stupidity of the American people, right? And when they're forced with a script that is this even balanced and ambiguous, I mean, ambiguity has to be like, the greatest fear of most Americans, right? Because then they're going to actually have to draw their own conclusions, which this movie does in, droves. So.
Yeah, we, we as American film watchers don't really like films that don't have definite endings.
No, we need things wrapped up in a nice little bow.
And we need it force-fed to us with a spoon, a baby spoon, airplane style. And I don't know why it is. Like, I don't know what it is about this.
Classic Hollywood.
Not only do they not want an ambiguous ending, they want a positive ending or nothing.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it's like...
honestly...
They died at the end. How could I like that?
Yeah, I do think that it's very much a product of, we were talking about the Oscars earlier. It's a product of that classic vintage Hollywood where we're just living in set life, where everything is these big costume, musicals or dramas or whatever that always have these, even with the films that attempt to hit, a heavier subject matter, still always end with the person, our leading characters out on top and for the better. And I think that that's something that's a very American idea. We look at other countries and other films where they talk about really hard subjects a lot more bluntly than Americans do. We don't, it comes down to, Chris, like we had the podcast with the Mort Mike folks for Scary Stories. where other countries are real upfront about death and don't worry about it. And they're like, yeah, aging happens, people die, whatever. That's, we have this whole thing behind it. Whereas Americans are so like, we need very much kind of like Mookie, where we're indifferent to anything that's about 5 days after. We need something that we're paying attention to right now, because thinking about those bigger picture things is uncomfortable and scary, because culture and, society, all those big picture things that shape how we are, we just kind of want to look away from the stuff that really wants to hold our attention and talk about things that maybe aren't so comfortable.
Not even
this movie.
Not even ignore those things, but like actively angry unless everything is comforting us at all times.
Yes.
This made me upset. Stop doing that. No. I mean, maybe we should take heart in the fact that our disinterest in helping our fellow man isn't necessarily racially motivated at all times. People just don't give a shit about anybody. Yeah.
I think it's really just, I don't want, could this possibly get me harmed in any possible way that I would be either, maimed or murdered? Then I don't want to be a part of it, because I got to live in my fantasy world where I don't die.
Does this thing benefit me? Then it's good. Does it not?
Right.
Then it's bad. Like that's where we're at.
Make me think uncomfortable things. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate because, and I think to your point, Father Malone, and I think that in Jess, your point as well, with American cinema, it is so much, and you see it now, we've all heard it, maybe we've had to deal with people saying it, but in this country, we also don't treat movies and other pieces of art like important things that could have a message that we could learn from. It's treated as, oh, you make movies. Right. Duh. Like,
that's
you make
cool
entertainment.
thing.
Yeah, or like podcasting. Isn't that fun? Do you make money? And it's like, well, first off, the money is neither here nor there. But secondly, like you should know that if you're watching something, the person who's making it has an intent. The intention behind this podcast was to get me to watch this movie, and hopefully the audience listening to this podcast and anyone else who finds it to go watch this movie, and hopefully they will tell other people who haven't seen it or people who have to watch it. That's the intent here. It's not a fucking surprise. I'm not a man of mystery, for fuck's sake. But here's the thing. The people who made this movie, Spike Lee, Bill Lee, Ernest Dickerson, all the actors, they were trying to tell a story too. And that's important. We can't devalue our art to the point where it's like, it's only for entertainment and that's where it starts and stops. Like, that society, I don't want to live in it. I don't want to live in it.
No, that's a society for, the popcorn entertainment is there. And hey, I'm here for junk food movies.
Yeah, of course.
Now, I love them, but that's the beauty of movies, right? We've talked about it time and again, where you can cover anything and everything in this medium. If you want to just make movies to entertain people because you want to entertain people, great, do that. But you also have to understand to tell morals and metaphors and teach people lessons for aeons. We have fables for a reason. We have cautionary tales for a reason. That storytelling is how we as a society understand things and have it in a palatable way, rather than going straight out on the street and seeing some horrific crime happen in front of us.
That's what I don't fucking
get. We take these stories to make something terrible. That's why we love, the three of us here are big horror fans. There's a lot of talk as to why people love horror movies. Horror movies can be a very cathartic thing. It's how, it's a way to process really horrible things that happen in the world. But with this story that was created for you with, like you say, an intention behind it, and it's that step away from actually having to experience the thing yourself.
I don't understand in this country, if you don't want to learn but you're willing to watch a movie, don't complain when the movie's trying to teach you something.
Right?
What is your fucking deal? Like, look, are you fucking nuts?
We live in a country where people won't read subtitles.
Hey, I don't want to read when I watch movies. Guess what? You come to my fucking house, the subtitles are always on.
Yeah,
you don't
same
like it?
Here.
Go home.
Yeah, for English language things. You know why? Because sound quality really varies from streaming device to streaming device.
And sometimes you don't pick up on things. Sometimes there's subtleties that you don't... I mean, you know what? If you don't like subtitles, like, what's it really about? tell me what it's about with you not liking
I
subtitles.
don't like foreigners.
Right.
That's
what they're saying.
That's what I want. Yep.
I want my movies to be American, damn it.
That movie seemed pretty good, but it would be better if they were all speaking English and it was made here in America.
There wasn't a radioactive lizard in it that was supposed to be the ones that the Americans created.
So I worked at Best Buy a long, long time ago, 2006, 2007, and Pan's Labyrinth had come out on DVD, and this person had purchased it and evidently did not read that it was a Spanish language film, therefore had English subtitles. Called us up at the store, therefore I was the one to answer the phone, so they called me up at the store and proceeded to just yell about how dare we sell them basically a non-English language film. Like, why would we even be selling this? It's and
valid question, right?
How can you, why do you care? Don't fucking Pan's Labyrinth's a great movie, but fine, don't watch the movie, whatever. Just return it and shut the fuck up.
That's the best part, is they probably didn't watch it.
No, they just turned it on and immediately heard hola, and they were like, I'm out.
Do people that don't watch films with subtitles, does it make them physically ill? Oh God!
No,
I don't
here's
want to
the thing.
fucking read.
I think that it's. I'll say that the three of us have probably been watching movies with subtitles for a very long time since we started really getting into watching film and being film nerds. And sure, there is a learning curve to it. Being able to watch and read in the same. Learning. Because with subtitles, you don't have to read every single line, right? Sometimes there are things you learn how to skip and you know when to do that. And I get the kind of intimidation of that, but it comes down to, and this is different. I'm not used to it. It makes me uncomfortable. I don't like it.
This wasn't made for me.
Yes.
But I
can't accept that when it wasn't made for me. See, that's fine, because not everything is made for somebody. There are plenty of things out there that I don't like that people love.
Guys, I have to leave. This is invading my space too much. That mentality is wild, isn't it, Jess? That people genuinely can't accept that something might exist not for them.
Yes. Why can't I like it? Why can't I be able to like this? Well, because you didn't expand your mind enough to let yourself like it. So your taste is on you. That's really what it comes down to.
The funny thing is, it's it is actually made for you dummies. It's just in a different way. You know what I mean? I don't think any filmmaker is out there going, I've got a very, very specific audience. They want to reach as many as they can. So it's it is their own sort of, mistrust of anything new that keeps them from enjoying the movie. And speaking of the stupidity of people, the first movie I showed as a projectionist was the recently refurbished director's cut of Brazil. So the marquee on my theater just said Brazil, and I can't keep count of how many people came out of the movie 20 minutes in and going, when did they get to Brazil?
Oh God. No fucking
were you hoping you were watching a tourist movie about Brazil?
They absolutely thought they were going to step into a movie about Brazil in some way. It was at least going to be set there.
I wanted to watch a documentary about Brazil, damn it.
So weird. It's I just saw this marquee for a movie called Brazil. That's all I need to know.
Is that a thing? Is that a thing that sane people do, is go to a movie they don't know what it is?
Yes. Yes.
Have you ever wanted to dive deeper into the horror movies you love? Beyond the Blood is a horror podcast for fans who want more than just surface level screams. We do deep dives into the movies that shaped us, digging into director commentaries, behind the scenes stories, deleted scenes, and the special features that most people skip. Each episode is a love letter to the genre. We break down how these films were made, the creative risks that paid off or didn't, and the lasting impact they've had on the genre as a whole. From 70s slashers to modern nightmares, we celebrate the craft, chaos, and characters that keep us coming back. If you're the kind of fan who rewatches movies with the commentary on, or you simply grew up in the video store horror aisle, the Beyond the Blood podcast was made for you. New episodes every single week. Subscribe, and let's dig deep. Welcome to the Beyond the Blood podcast.
Same people, I don't know, but it happens a lot. I worked at Regal.
Okay.
And I would, particularly during the day, it didn't happen very often during the night because people who come to the movies at night seem to have a plan. It's a date night, it's a family night, it's a whatever. people who come to the movie theater at 2:00 in the afternoon on a Tuesday don't have plans. Generally, they're old people, but there were
plotted their day.
Yes, there are plenty of people that would come in that were not old, but there were so many old people that would come in, have no idea what any of the movies were about, and would either A, ask me to explain what every single movie was, or B, just pick whatever was playing at the time they happened to show up. So I worked at Regal when Bruno came out.
Ah, wonderful. I love where this story's going.
I had to return so many old people tickets because they would just randomly go see Bruno and like walk out 10, 15 minutes into the movie. So yes, it is a thing that people do quite often. We'll just come to movies and just be like, yeah, sure, I'll see it, whatever.
I worked at a theater that had like a discounted day. So those days we would sell out everything.
Yeah.
And so people would show up at like 7:00 to see the movie that they had chosen. It was sold out. Their second choice was sold out. Their third choice was sold out. But here's a movie that's open and it's not going to cost them a lot. So they're going to see it. And then they want their money back because they were not expecting what they were going to get. So
they didn't like The Sorrow and the Pity?
Yeah.
3 hours.
Want to see
How long can you watch it for 3 hours?
Yeah. Right.
I hated when we would give, we've gone very off topic here, but if you were a person and you go to Regal and you didn't like the movie that you saw and you ask for like a complimentary ticket to a free movie, fuck you.
You stayed through the whole movie.
Yeah.
You watch the movie and your taste is on you. You don't get your money back because you didn't like the movie.
Yeah.
Especially if you knew what it was. Especially if you knew what it was about going into it. Like
I used to say to people, like, did you not? Was there nothing on screen? And they're like, no, there was on screen. Like, could you hear the movie? Like, yeah. Like, was the seat comfortable? Like, yeah. Like, well, we did our job. Like,
right.
You have an issue.
Movie theaters to provide a place and the movie.
Yeah. We're just exhibitors, man. We're not controlling the content.
Write the executive producer and see how much they give a flying fuck about whether or not you like the movie.
They'll send you a comp.
I ate the hamburger, and you're telling me that now that I've eaten said burger, I can't get a refund on said burger that I have already eaten.
It wasn't cooked well enough. You ate the whole thing.
Yeah,
you licked the plate clean.
There is, sir, we can serve more food on this plate. What do you want from us, sir? Please. I mean, look, I can't imagine watching this film in the critics' like version of watching this film. Because, man, if you're one of those critics that was like, this is a call to arms, like, they were probably so uncomfortable looking around, making sure, like, seeing who was watching what they were doing. Because, again, like, with a movie like this, while I agree that you need to be careful with your opinion on it, you shouldn't be afraid to be honest. Just don't be a fucking racist.
Right.
It's not that hard.
Right.
You cannot, like, Get Out and say you don't like it without being a racist.
Yeah.
Right.
You just say, I don't like the movie. It wasn't my cup of tea.
I thought Black Panther was okay.
Yeah, me too. I'm on record saying Black Panther's okay.
It's an okay movie.
Yeah.
I'm not racist because I thought it was a lesser Marvel film. Like, and at the same time, Chris, like, because we shared the opinion on that movie, like, you can appreciate how important the movie is.
Right.
While at the same time recognizing that,
it's a flawed movie.
The action wasn't great,
Yeah. It has the Marvel thing where at the end they just fight a different colored version of themselves. He was in a black suit, the other guy was in a yellow suit.
It was a little weird.
Yeah. I saw that in Ant-Man. They did that in Ant-Man. Same fucking thing. Don't do it again. And then they did it again in Captain America. Then he did it again in the Hulk. And they did it again in every one of the fucking movies. But yeah, no, I don't understand. I don't understand the critics' response to this. But I will say, without
you do
actually. Yeah.
Oh, that it's just stemmed from racism. I mean, it's just like if you have a problem with the ambiguity, a film, like if you're a serious film critic and you saw this movie and all you took away was white people are bad, you've got a fucking problem.
Yeah. Well, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You missed the point entirely.
Yeah. The point is that we're all terrible.
You are John Turturro.
Yeah.
Well, John Turturro's character is a boy.
Bruce.
Yeah, boy.
Bruce.
Pino.
I will say, like, who's like, I guess the morally righteous character in the film is the Ossie Davis character.
Kind of, but he gets his too, doesn't he? When those that group of kids, man, oh man, they fucking lay into him, and they're not wrong. That's part of the sort of even-handedness about this. It's like, yeah, you've seen some shit, but like,
but you're still just kind of a drunk.
Yeah. At the end of the day, man, like, you're fucking,
You've
doing
declared
odd
yourself
jobs so you
mayor
can
of
buy
this
Miller
street.
Lite.
Yeah. And Samuel L.
Miller High
Jackson's
Life.
in this movie. We didn't even talk about that.
Wake up.
As Senior Love Daddy.
Something I always admired about this film is at the end of School Days, which ends kind of badly, but is still a good movie. The last line is Lawrence Fishburne turns to the camera and says, "Wake up." And then his next film starts with Samuel Jackson repeating the same line. I thought that was a nice little circularity there.
I just like that Samuel Jackson's in this movie, and he's not the main character.
He's not even really a character.
No.
He's like almost kind of like a narrator.
Yeah. Like a
he
Greek
serves
chorus.
That kind of purpose.
Yeah, the
a little
chorus.
Bit. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, again, this is, I don't know if like you said, Father Malone, I don't know if I'll rewatch this again anytime soon, but it is definitely a movie that I will tell more people to watch and be like, you guys need to watch this. Because like, if this movie doesn't have an effect on you, fuck.
Yeah, it's a perfect movie in that way. Like the way Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the Tobe Hooper film, the original, like it's a perfect movie. But
I thought you meant the most recent one.
Oh yeah. Well,
Why are you clarifying? With the three of us, why are you clarifying?
I know. Well, there are people listening.
It's true.
And I'm on record. I'm never watching that movie again because it works so well. I just feel on edge and disgusted and repulsed. And at the end of it, I'm like, Jesus Christ, what an experience. But I'm not going back to it.
I feel the same way about Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah. I'm with
Don't
you
need
on
to
that
watch
too.
it again. I'm cool. It was it did what it needed to do, but why do I want to go back to that place?
Right.
It's not
I recognize
anywhere
the
near a fun
artistry
place.
without necessarily putting it on my to-do list.
You know what my movie is? Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer.
I'm with you on that too.
That's a pretty rough one too. Yeah,
I watched it once, and I think my review on the website, when the website was still a thing, and I used to write for it, I think my review was "fuck this movie." I mean, like it's like one of the few movies where I was just like, Jesus Christ, like I can't.
Yeah.
I was so fucking creeped out at the end of it by Michael Rooker's performance. I was just like, I'm done. And the sad thing is, I should rewatch it because I would probably enjoy it now more than I did then.
I don't know if there's any enjoyment to be had.
Yeah, I don't know that enjoyment.
Somebody
enjoyment's not the word.
Somebody enjoys it. It's not me,
Oh,
but
I mean,
bet somebody does.
Jason loves Henry. Like it's one of his favorite movies, but I don't think that even he would categorize it as a joyful experience.
Full of joy. This does not spark joy in me to watch the movie about the guy murdering everybody.
Yes, there's Marie Kondo, that shit right now.
What are some other movies that are in this kind of category?
I mean, I would say probably a lot of the kind of 70s exploitation movies, like Rape Revenge stuff, I Spit on Your Grave, Last House on the Left, Sallow,
Cannibal Holocaust.
which is not a... Yeah, Cannibal Holocaust, Cannibal Ferox, a lot of that stuff. I guess it depends more on your palate, on what creeps you out.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think of a more serious film. Like I agree with you. I'm glad I watched all those
Serbian
movies.
film?
Yeah, because I don't really see the
I don't know
artistry
if it's
there.
serious, yeah.
I mean,
it feels like it's all shock value.
If you believe the director, it's supposed to be serious.
Oh yeah, okay, good for him. There's a movie called Necromantic, a German.
I've seen it. We've done a podcast on it. It's fucking
right now.
great.
I think that's
I have Necromantic.
I think it's a really good movie, and I'm never gonna watch it again.
Why not?
It fucking creeped me out to the point of nausea.
Yeah, I mean, if you've never heard of Necromantic, please go listen to the episode. Maybe don't watch, I don't know, maybe read the Wikipedia page about the movie first.
No, definitely watch it without any foreknowledge.
This man's not telling you to do this for no reason.
100% endorse that.
Don't
watch
look it up
cold.
at all.
Because, so that's
Watch
the thing.
it
So
cold.
I was thinking about doing, and this is a little bit of sausage making for all y'all behind the scenes sausage lovers. I don't know where I was going with that. But
you mean those fellow podcast people who do this?
Yeah. I was thinking
industry makers.
I was thinking about doing Disturbing December this year and doing these fucking movies. But then I thought about do I really want to bring that upon myself?
Do you want to do a whole month, especially in the holiday month where it's already depressing as shit?
I mean, I'm not depressed at the holidays. Are you?
Sure. Yeah.
Oh no, I totally. I don't know. Like, I mean, again,
love the
like,
holidays.
Yeah, but you don't like Christmas,
the
do you?
Halloween holidays.
Yeah, but I just turned Christmas into Halloween, and it all works.
Well, that's
Right.
fair.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, I was like, do I really want to watch a bunch of, like, fucking disturbing... And it's like, you know...
That's a journey you'll be taking alone. There'll be no guest host.
Yeah, and that's the
Father
other
Malone
thing.
that
Like,
month.
I can, you know, I could get... You know, Mike White said he would do a couple.
Of course he would.
Yeah,
He's a movie animal.
Yeah. But, like, at the same time, it's you know, sitting here thinking about, like, watching this movie. I'm like, do I really want to spend another month of watching movies I don't want to watch again for an entire month?
Who knows? Maybe you would want to watch all of them again. Maybe you'll hit like this weird, like, just like, oh my God, I absolutely love these movies.
I would think it'd be by degrees, though, right? I mean, like, I'm going to watch this over Texas Chainsaw again. Like I said, I think 3/4 of this movie is wildly entertaining. I like these people. I like hanging out with them, and you know, it's
pretty comedic too.
People
it really is. It's a very funny film, and you know, it's just that it's all leading toward a fucking nightmare.
Right.
But like, you know, I think that's an acceptable, like, it's not like I won't watch this movie again. Like, I was not so disturbed by the content, or its intent was not.
Well, exactly. Its intent is not to watch people suffer.
Right.
Its intent is to watch people try and get through their day-to-day life, just like everybody else. And yes, it builds to this horrible thing that happens, but unfortunately that is a part of their day-to-day life, you know, in a very real way.
Right.
But movies like I Spit on Your Grave or, you know, Henry or any of that, it's just watching people suffer who are going to continue to suffer and probably not get too much release, you know, or vengeance out of rape, revenge, different thing, but still it's people suffering until they get their big conclusion. Here we're just watching people.
It's upsetting to me that people get all bent out of shape about politics in movies and people having something to say, directors, you know, screenwriters having something to say in movies, but yet have no issue with Eli Roth, friend of Father Malone, you know, sticking a fucking drill through a dude's cock, putting shit through people's eyes and head and shit. People are like, whatever. Violence is cool.
Hardcore. But, well, that's America, right?
Yeah, sure is. Violence is cool.
What bothers me about that whole sort of subset of films, the torture porn of the early 21st century, is that...
Oh boy, that's a disturbing statement to say,
right?
Isn't it?
Having grown up in the 1980s when slasher films were king, you kept hearing a refrain from not necessarily just the right, but, you know, people who thought they had some sort of moral high ground and viewed this as deviant kind of entertainment.
Say their names. Siskel and Ebert, dude.
Yeah, I mean, they're part of it. Like, but, you know, I mean, there was a whole movement of, like, you know,
any critic that would be considered a critic would have been looking their nose down on horror in general.
Right. I'm talking even beyond sort of critical assessment of the thing, where it's like, you could, you know, spend your time better than watching this, you know, unworthy entertainment. But there were people like actively trying to suppress the entertainment. And their argument was that it was teaching a generation to be numbed to this kind of violence. And I railed against that, you know, as anyone right thinking would. Like, you know, your entertainment can, you know, maybe change your mind a little bit, but it's not going to make anyone worse than they already were to begin with. But the guy who's going to go out and shoot up a school was going to go shoot up the school. Like, he didn't need any sort of instigation. But I will say that as soon as that generation, my generation, became filmmakers, what did they do? They sort of reveled in the worst parts, in my mind, of those slasher films. So it's kind of like, you know,
maybe they were right a little bit.
Yeah, like, you know, I'm like, yeah, maybe.
Well, I think that that's even a bigger discussion of what is horror and what makes horror. And there's that, you know, idea of if there's not blood and guts and tits and gore, like, it's not a horror movie, which is just patently false. But it is that generation and that, you know, 80s of slasher movies, like the being king, is where people get that idea. And it's also where people who criticize horror movies get the idea of what a horror movie is, too.
Yeah.
It's no longer. And then if they see something like The Witch or something that comes from A24 or whatever, then it's not horror. It's a thriller.
It's a thriller. Yeah. Oh, I love that distinction.
It's a
come on.
thriller.
It's elevated.
A psychological drama.
It's elevated horror.
This is horror I liked. It's art now. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Right.
Friday the 13th Part 3 3D is amazing.
Yeah.
It really is.
and it always cracks me up that each generation finds the new scapegoat. In the 80s, it was the movies, the violent movies. In the 90s, it was the internet. And now or I guess in the 90s, it was probably the music.
Oh,
right?
it was music.
Yeah. And then now in the aughts, it is is video games. Video games.
I feel like it's more so was. Now I feel like it's just like social media is the plague of all. Like that's just where people I think are
it was people all along.
Yes, we are our own worst enemy.
God, what a fucking shocker. And that it really is the message of Do the Right Thing. We are our own worst enemy. Look at that, right all the way back around. We went up the path and came back down the path the other way.
Nicely done, sir.
But yeah, it really is. And if you walk away from this movie, like Father Malone said, if you walk away from this movie thinking all white people are bad, you have missed the message of this movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've willfully missed the point of the movie. You have not paid attention at all. You came in with this notion that this is a polemic against white people, and that's exactly what you took out of it.
And that's where I mentioned once again, like I said, it doesn't cost anything to be a good person, but the rest of us pay for you being an asshole. I will go one further. If you are a racist, it must be really hard for you to hate other people because loving everybody is pretty goddamn easy.
I mean, it's...
Unless they're assholes.
They're assholes.
Well, there you go. Then they're really easy to hate.
Then I don't want to love them. But
anybody
but
can be an
ultimately
asshole.
I will. That's the thing, you fuckers.
And anybody can be an asshole.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, on that note, Father Malone, what would you give Do the Right Thing out of 5? As
5.
if it needs a score. Yeah, okay.
5.
Yeah.
I'd
Jess,
rate it higher.
5.
Yeah, 5. Like, what?
It lives up to what I have heard of it. It is, and as far as like being a person who likes writing, who loves writing, who wants to be a writer, this is one of the most tight, just well-running scripts, just well-flowing scripts I've ever heard.
2 for 2 now. 2 weeks in a row where the script is good, the movie is good, and together they're amazing. Chinatown, great script, great movie.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and this movie,
Roman
great script,
Polanski's a monster.
Thank God Spike Lee's not a monster, but Roman
Faye
Polanski
Dunaway is a crazy person.
Okay, when I brought that up last week, nobody knew what the fuck I was talking about. That Faye Dunaway is like kind of like
after
just
she
kind of
did
like
Mommy Dearest, she says she's been talking to Joan Crawford's ghost.
I believe it.
You guys are saying yes, and last week they were like, I've never heard anything bad about Faye Dunaway, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
You know, people are sheltered.
One of those people works in the industry, dude.
Yeah, well, that's, you know.
And the other one loves Chinatown. Please tell me here. I don't understand. I'm lost, man.
I've got such monomania that when I like get interested in something, I need to know every goddamn thing about it. And I gotta say, it's like I understand most people aren't that way, but it still shocks me that they're not.
It kind of shocks me that like. And this is a completely off tangent, but speaking of times that we worked at movie theaters and things like that, when I worked at Regal, the Nightmare on Elm Street remake came out. It's awful, whatever. But there were people that would come in and like had no idea that it was a remake who were very clearly around when the first one came out. And I don't get it because I'm like, why do I know more about, like, I've seen every movie in this franchise multiple times and you were around in 1984 and have no idea that Nightmare on Elm Street was a movie.
We shouldn't be shocked, but it's always shocking.
Right.
Just like the keep the politics out of my music, saying it to Rage Against the Machine. It's like, are you making a joke?
Yeah.
Like, this is funny. If you're saying this seriously, it's funny. And if you're saying it ironically, it's funny. But my hope is you're not saying it seriously, because if you're saying it seriously, you're also an idiot.
Well, and hey, and then if you're also saying it, you better not be a fan of, artists that put the other side's message in their music. Just saying.
It only works. It only works when it's not the message you agree with.
Right.
Then you get
and it's a problem.
Yeah, well, that's the way it works. I don't know. Did you guys not hear that one? Was that You guys didn't pick up on that already?
No.
If it's not, well, yeah, okay. We're just, yeah, well, that's why we continue to go in the circle, apparently.
Yep.
So, on that note, we'll take a break and we'll play a preview for the next Culture Cast.
Dear Mr. Brian Boyd, no doubt by now you have received full information about the untimely death of your son. However, there are some personal details.
Believe very strongly.
No words of mine can ever.
He was a fine soldier.
Regarding the circumstances leading to his death,
felt his loss tremendously.
Robert's commanding
His
officer.
heroic service to his
He was a
country.
great soldier, dedicated friend.
Grace of God and the aid of your
Those
son
of us
that I'm
who
alive.
must please accept my most sincere
He will
condolences.
live in our
To
memories.
you, my deepest sympathy.
Colonel, I've got something you should know about.
Yes.
These two men died in Normandy. This one at Omaha Beach.
Sean Ryan.
This one at Utah.
Peter Ryan.
This man was killed last week in New Guinea.
Daniel Ryan.
The three men are brothers, sir. I've just learned that this afternoon their mother's getting all three telegrams. That's not all. There's a fourth brother, the youngest. He's somewhere in Normandy. We don't know where.
That boy's alive. We're gonna send somebody to find him. And we're gonna get him the hell out of there.
Some private in the 101st lost 3 of his brothers and he's got a ticket home.
It's not going to be easy finding one particular soldier in the whole damn war.
No, we can't take the kids. I don't know anything about Ryan. It's just a name. But if finding him so he can go home, if that earns me the right to get back to my wife, well, then that's my mission.
That's right, in the next Culture Cast, we're going to be talking about a movie that I'm actually dreading watching. Father Malone, you probably enjoy it. It's Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, yes. I like that movie.
I'm dreading it. I'm
I like
not
2/3
a
of that movie.
guy.
I like 2/3 of that movie. It's
I would agree with
Mike
that
White
statement.
says it's a good beginning, and that's kind of it. And then it becomes a generic. Then it becomes a generic war movie.
fun, very
I
smartly
think it's a
written war film.
generic. Yeah. I think like as far as the visuals, yeah, I think like if what you're watching isn't going to like really blow your socks off compared to what other war movies that you've seen, I'm sure.
There's some good challenging moments in that movie.
Are you being serious or?
No, I'm being totally serious.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. Okay.
But you know, it's still it's a Spielberg film. You know what I mean?
So-
Like, you know,
Are you saying it's as good as always? Is that what you're saying?
Boy, as good as
cheeky. Is it as good as 1941?
you know, no, because nothing is, because that's a fucking great movie. I'll go to Mike Graves thing. What a great movie that is.
Yeah, that and Transylvania 6-5 fucking.
Look,
1,000.
I'm not gonna die on the hill of Transylvania 6-5,000.
I like
but
Transylvania
yeah, it's a pleasant little
What
thing.
is going on
It's
with the
just-
people I podcast with, Jess? How do you like this movie?
We outnumber you.
You do. You do. You guys, it's me and Mike. It's Mike White and I. Everyone else likes it. Trevor likes it. Heather fucking liked it. Who else? You like it. And fuck, both of y'all like it. What's going on here, guys? I need to tell Mike we need to run for the fucking hill. You're going to chase us back with your
Maybe you guys just need to watch it again.
Oh, yeah, we probably should, given that it's a Kino fucking Lorber release now, so, you know. Because
Yeah,
let's
well.
devalue our re-releases. But yeah, Saving Private Ryan, I'm going to be joined by Trevor Gumble, and I'm not looking forward to it because I don't like war movies. They're just kind of
At
all the
all?
same. But yeah, I'm not a war movie guy, so that's my thing. It's just a genre I'm not super. It doesn't get me excited like horror does.
Yeah, but every genre has gems. I mean, you know.
Sure, I'm not denying that. I mean, yeah, that goes without saying. So, but until that episode, where can people find you, Jess?
You can find me on Twitter at writer Jess Byard. Pretty much everything I do goes there. If you want to hear Chris and I together, you can hear us on our one of two podcasts or two of two podcasts. One season show where we talk about television that lasted only one season, and Scary Stories We Tell, where we're talking about ghost stories, aliens, serial killers, anything that goes bump in the night. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
What about you, Father Malone?
You can check me out over at fathermalone.com. That's where you can find my podcast, Dark Destinations. It is a half-hour radio drama that I write and produce. You can also, at fathermalone.com, I got links to everything else that I and we do. So you can find links to Chronicles from the Crypt, the Tales from the Crypt podcast Chris and I do, and Dreams for Sale, the Twilight Zone 85 podcast that Chris and I and Mr. Mike White do about the revival of the Twilight Zone in the mid-'80s.
I will say, though, Father Malone, I am still surprised, shocked, but happy that fathermalone.com was not taken.
Mine.
Well, it's yours, but I
have
still
that
don't
name
understand.
and I have the other name. That's all mine now.
I just don't get it. Like, it's a known thing, and someone didn't buy it.
You know what? I've been using this moniker for a long time, and one time I had a friend who I'd known for like at least a year at this point and knew me as Father Malone. He called me the next day that he watched a movie. He said, "Hey, I watched The Fog last night. That's where you got Father Malone." I'm like, yeah. I mean, so it's maybe not as well known as you think. And this is a guy who's my age, so he'd probably seen the movie, but it just didn't stick in his head.
I didn't know what it was from.
Yeah,
I've still never seen The Fog, so there you go.
So
I had seen The Fog, and I still didn't make that connection until I was like, oh, okay, got it.
So thus, the domain name was probably just sitting there waiting for me.
And to give Father Malone...
you were a creepy priest.
To give Father Malone a hard time, last time I mentioned Father Malone, you like forgot for a moment that Hal Holbrook played Father Malone, because I was like, hey, Father Malone died, and you're like, wait, oh, right.
Yeah, well, I tend to think of Father Malone as me, so...
It's okay.
I gotta say, I saw The Fog in a theater like 2 years ago, and not the first time we meet the character, but Janet Leigh's character goes into the church and she goes, Father Malone, like that, and I was just like, hey,
hey, everybody, it's me. But yeah, to close this podcast out, as always, you can find me on Twitter at Christmas Claus. And you can find the podcast on the internet at Kulturecast.com, patreon.com/Kulturecast. That's where you can go kick a couple dollars our way. If not, hey, I get it. Times are hard and shit's rough. Fuck. Jesus Christ. It's not positive outside, so we try to be positive in here. That's kind of the point. It's like weird fucking things. The world is still going on, but yet it doesn't feel like it. So that's why you come here and listen to us talk.
As the world turns.
As the world turns. So big thanks to Father Malone and Jess for joining me, and we'll catch you on the next episode.